Okay, so in today's update about Telcoin, we are going to check out this whole move on the upside and see what is happening in here in terms of Elliott waves, classic technical analysis, and maybe some indicators. And I'm going to show you some beautiful optimistic signs that happened in the recent move on the upside, indicating maybe the final low in TEL is already in. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a great time with your family and loved ones, and it has been a minute since we talked about Telcoin. And if you remember, in the previous update specifically, I believe we were right around these areas, and the idea was that maybe we're gonna have another move down, and I think I said let's hope at that point our move down is gonna be over and we need to see a very strong bounce back. So what happened? We did get a move on the downside, and now I'm going to say this was actually an A, B, C, D, E, a triangular structure into our wave 4, potentially yes to about this point, and this is our final move down into wave 5, suggesting maybe the low in TL is already in. So this is a beautiful bullish sign. Another very important optimistic sign that happened recently comes down to classic technical analysis, meaning support and resistances, and we talked about this very important support area from weekly and daily time frame at the same time so many times. I said if you want to say that this region is broken, you need to see in weekly chart a candle close under here, followed by that a pullback, and then a continuation of the move down in order to take this low. And that was kind of why I was saying, even if we get another move down, at that point, maybe this is going to be just a fake out. Let's go on weekly time frame, zoom in more. Maybe it's best to put the chart on logarithmic scale. There we go. So what happened? As you can see, we definitely had in here a candle close under the region, but followed by that, instead of having a pullback, it seems like that now we are getting a rather strong move on the upside in order to get back above the higher band of this important level, which is about, let's say, like 0.006. So this in my books is definitely a bullish sign, indicating maybe this is just a simple fake out, and the support at the moment, at least I think we can all agree that it's not broken yet. So this was another optimistic sign. Do we have some more bullish signs? The answer is yes, and that comes down to Elliott waves. Now, how exactly can we identify an impulse in here? Here is, I would say, the most pessimistic scenario between all the possible bullish cases. And I'm gonna say this is maybe starting from here, wave 1, correction for wave 2, another move up into wave 3, correction for 4, another move on the upside into wave 5, and you kind of have to ignore these shadows because these don't actually exist when you go on some other charts. Let's actually do it. Let's go on maybe crypto.com chart, because I think in there we are having better looking candlesticks. There we go. Now it's much better. I believe this is a beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up. You probably know it since we are having overlapping of the waves, a leading diagonal in form of a wedge structure. And again, keep that in mind. This is the most pessimistic scenario between all the bullish possibilities. So this is a wedge probably into a wave 1, followed by that this is a correction down into wave 2, and we can definitely argue this is a beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up into wave 3. And if this scenario is happening, well, okay, the current move down in TL is just going to be a correction for 4. And what can we expect after our correction is over? You know the deal. At least some more big moves on the upside into wave 5. If you see in the short term in TL something like this, that could be, I would say, pretty much the ultimate bullish sign, indicating our final low is already in. Now, earlier I told you this is the most pessimistic scenario between the bullish ones. Can we have another count? The answer is yes, and I do kind of like the current counts that I'm about to tell you a bit more than the others. Why is that? Because you see, finding an impulsive movement in this phase up, from my point of view, is a bit of a challenge, and this can be easily a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up to about this point when you go on some lower time frames. So I'm gonna say in one possibility, one bullish one, we can say maybe this is 1, this is a wave 2, and then wave 3, 4, 5, and at that point on a higher degree, this white 5 wave up is actually going to be into a wave 3, and we're gonna have correction for 4, another move up into wave 5. And this scenario basically suggests, relative to the previous possibility, indicating that we are having maybe like a wedge structure in here, our move up is going to continue probably a bit more. So you see, for the short term in TL, we can expect this move down maybe continue a bit more, but then after it, we want to see another beautiful move on the upside. Do we have some more optimistic signs? The answer is yes. I don't know if you like classic patterns, but if you do, I think we can all agree that this is a beautiful head and shoulder structure. And what's the target for it? First things first, you need to put your chart on regular scale. I cannot stress this enough, just how important this is. Where I learned technical analysis, they told me you need to, again, first put your chart on regular scale and then measure the height of your head and shoulder structure and put it at your breaking point. There we go. And as you can see, I would say in this move up, we pretty much reached to about our target. However, that's not really the point. You see, the point is this pattern itself. A head and shoulder usually happens at the end of a downtrend. So because we are having a beautiful head and shoulder structure in here and we went up, I would say at quite a bit of a rapid pace and reached to our target, again, we can say maybe our final low in TL is actually in, and we can be bullish with a decent bit of confidence. Now, every single bullish and also bearish possibility should have a very important invalidation point. And what's it going to be for this scenario? I'm going to say probably a move down from the current point or maybe a bit higher in order to take this low. So if we see something like this happening in TL, at that point, we need to reconsider our bullish possibility and probably say, sure, maybe we are able to find some sort of a bullish count in here, but at that point, that's not going to be our primary case. And we're going to say, you know what, in our primary scenario, this is just a simple ABC zigzag, and our move down from here can continue possibly for another, I would say, yes, maybe like 20 to even 30% in order to also take the lowest low down here. But as long as we're not seeing that, I think we can actually go with this bullish scenario, indicating the current move is just a corrective movement, and after it's over, or maybe it's over already, we're going to check the pattern in the short term. We can have some more moves on the upside. Let's go on 5-minute time frame and see what is happening. If you want to say that our correction is over, I think you can identify an ABC in form of a flat structure, and here is how. This can be a beautiful ABC down, followed by that ABC on the upside. There we go. And from this point, we can say maybe this is like 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into wave 3, correction for 4, another move down into wave 5. And well, okay, these are the subwaves for, you know the deal, a complete ABC in form of a flat structure. Now, can we consider some other possibilities? The answer is yes, and here is how. You can say maybe this is like a triangle structure into some sort of a wave 4, and this is another move up into a wave 5, which on a higher degree, overall, that 5 wave on the upside is going to be into our wave 3, and basically, we're going to say the end of this whole move up into wave 3 is not in here, it's actually right in here. And based on that, well, okay, this is 5 wave down, followed by that. Sure, we can expect a move on the upside, but the odds are that's going to be a slow and choppy move. And then we're going to see another move down in order to have the subwaves for, you know what, an A, B, C zigzag. And then that will be at the low of our wave 4. And from here, we can expect another move on the upside into wave 5. Question. How can we say whether this or the previous scenario is in play? At the moment, we cannot really say that. We need to wait just a little bit more and pay attention to the shape of this move on the upside. If we get a very strong move, maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, without a whole lot of overlapping of the waves, that could be a good sign suggesting this point is actually the end of our corrective movement. On the other hand, again, if we get a slow and choppy move with a lot of overlapping of the waves, well, okay, that's not a good sign, indicating we're going to have probably another move on the downside. So overall, in Telcoin, I would like to be for now bullish as long as I'm not proven otherwise. And I do like this possibility, indicating we are having at least if you want to be like really pessimistic, like maybe a leading diagonal in form of a wedge into a wave 1, correction for wave 2. This can be into our wave 3. And according to this, well, the current move is just a correction for 4. And we need to see in the short term, I would say probably in the next week or two, some more moves on the upside into RV5. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Telcoin's price charts. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.